Today on Uncommonly Good MTG, we're playing Demon Reanimator. We're going to be playing mono black deck that focuses on putting out a bunch of demons and big time focuses on reanimation from the graveyard. If that sounds interesting to you, then stay tuned to find out more. Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I'm your host, and remember, in the immortal words of His Holiness the Space Pope, the cow says, moo. Doctor, you can't suck it. Yes, thank you. Filmed before a live studio audience. Thank you so much. You can't suck it. Word to your mama. So I'm broadcasting to you today from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing to you a deck I found over on the Aether Hub, posted by our pal T-Stokes, called Demon Reanimator. Demon Reanimator. There's a lot of what am I trying to say? Syllables there. Yeah, syllables. Still, a couple times I've played it. It's been really good. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the cards in this deck. We'll talk a little bit about how it should work, and then we're going to go out and we're going to crush some hopes and dreams. All right, so this is a mono black Reanimator deck. We've seen a lot of these cards in a Rakdos version recently, but we got some additional cards here, some weirder combos we haven't seen before. This should be interesting. All right, let's go through them. What do we got? Kind of like the way we did it before. We got big guys, right? We got Valgavoth, and we got the Sire of the Seven Deaths, and technically we got the Overlord of the Balemurk. He's just a 5/5. This guy is a 7/7 with everything but haste, practically. With first strike, vigilance, menace, trample, reach, lifelink, and ward. And the ward is they have to pay 7 lives to be able to target him. Valgavoth has flying, lifelink, and ward, and you get whatever they have to exile. Whenever something go to the graveyard, you exile instead, and then you can play it by playing your life rather than paying mana for it. And he also, with that, he gives you 9 life links. So therefore, you got a lot of life to pay for stuff. All right, so there you go. There's your 3 big dudes doing stuff right there. Let's take a look at the other creatures we got. We got the Abyssal Harvester, who is a 3/2, but you can exile target creature card from a graveyard that was put there this turn. Yours, your graveyard, or your opponent's. And you create a token of it, except it's a nightmare in addition to its other types. And then you exile all the nightmare tokens you control. So you can only have one thing rolling around there at any particular point. But so this guy will help bring things back from the graveyard. Probably yours, maybe your opponent's. You got to time it right, though. We got this little dude over there. So you just sacrifice it to return a target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. So for 4. So essentially, this is a Zombify card in creature form. You just put it out, pay 4, and then you Zombify. There's Zombify. And this guy brings guys back from the graveyard. What else we got? We got Unholy Annex, which will draw you a card. And if you control a demon, the opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Otherwise, you just lose 2 life. But for 5, you can put out a 6/6 demon creature. So here's a demon and here's a demon. This is not a demon, though. But I believe this guy is a little demon. So with all the demons you have, your Unholy Annex will probably be a nice grindy, what is it called? Gain and drain kind of situation. Very nice. And then we've got Bitter Triumph, which will help you to discard a card if you get the big guys in your hand, as well as destroying target creature or planeswalker. Liliana, who forces people to discard cards, including yourself. And then we got Cut Down and Go for the Throat. Those are our last just good old-fashioned creature control. All right, so what are we going to do? We're going to come out early. We're going to control things. We use Bitter Triumph to throw our big guys into our graveyard. Once we get up to 3 or 4 mana, we'll be able to start pulling guys out of the graveyard, putting them into play, which is probably more than what our opponents are going to be able to handle. If we can get to Unholy Annex, we can start drawing cards. And once we get to 5 mana, we can put out another demon if I have to, which will then cause them to lose life every time we draw a card using this ability. That's it. That's how we do this thing. All right, so before we go out and do our damage, let's do as we do every night. Let's say our prayers and talk about what is best in life. Hands together. Dear Black Queen Shouldered, who dwells within the dark chambers of my heart, please hear my prayers and grant your blessings as we attempt to crush our enemies, see them driven before us, and to hear the lamentations of the women. All right, playing against Vagrant. Turn off the bat. Let the Scorpion get it. I need at least 3 mana to be able to get this combo to work. And a lot of time. Good. Well, we've got the 3rd mana. That's cool. Let's get out the Abyssal Harvester. That's step number 1. He needs to stay alive. Next turn, we can pull out Liliana and then pull out Valgavoth, but Abyssal Harvester's got to live. He's looking at it. Yeah, there we go. So that did not work out. Got another one. Come on. If you had a lack of things to do, I would appreciate that. Looks like you don't have mana, and that's fantastic. All right, he's out. He's open for a mana that time. He did get a treasure token. He'll probably give up when he sees Valgavoth hit the floor. All right, he thinks he's all lucky. I'm going to do Valgavoth, though. I could have done a Traxa. That would have been funny, but yeah. We're here to see Valgavoth things. Usually people give up at this point. You don't have enough non-land permanents to be able to come after our pal Valgavoth. Oh, he's mine. All right, there we go. Victory! All right, we are playing against AllSpark. All right, everything costs 3. That's kind of the suck. Do you have a nice combo? Problems. I put out the Abyssal Harvester and he'll just get killed. But that's the move I have to go for. I mean, we have another backup plan, which is okay. Which is Liliana comes out, throws a Valgavoth, we Zombify in the next turn. I mean, I'm glad he's not coming at me. He's not coming at me with at the Harvester. He could kill it still. It only takes 1 mana to be able to do 2 points of damage. No blocks. Everything's cool. Have a good time. Looks like he's going to go for the shot. He doesn't like the Abyssal Harvester being out there. He touched his own guy. Makes you think he's looking to pump. There we go. Have a good time. All right, here comes the combo. You don't have any mana, man. You just got to give something up. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pick from my own graveyard, thank you. All right. And things are wonderful now. And you really can't do 9 points of damage with one card. All right, so who is it then? I don't have the ability to zombify anything else. That is a problem. Things I will have 5 mana, which means I could ritual chamber myself a big old demon. You just got to come at me, brah. That's all you got to do. If you go after Liliana, that's a sucker's bet. I mean, she will force one of your guys to be dead, but you can pick Little Boy. All right, picking big numbers. There you go. I know I'm taking it anyway, down to 5. Oh, but yeah, that 9 seemed to help a lot. Well, I can't gain more life anymore. Well, I got a lot. Well, I wasn't allowed to get it because of it, huh? All right, we go. Sorry. Get rid of something. And we win. Suck it, Mono Red. I can't believe I ripped you apart. Victory! All right, playing against Keroria. And let's shut the dog up because dogs are whiny in this game. Two mana, that's not enough to get this deck going. 3, we might just be able to pull it off. The rest go in the graveyard. I should have left it in there. I don't think I really had a choice. I could have left everything in there as a matter of fact. All right, there we go. 3. Unholy Annex. This guy looks like he has some instants in his hand. Otherwise, I wouldn't have paused there. All right, let's chew these guys up, and we'll go back to doing a little card draw again. All right, Zombify. We can pull out Valgavoth on this next turn. He's gonna try to pass me some stuff. Hopefully this is early enough. I can't stop him. I have 0 ability to stop him. All I gotta do is hope that I can chew this guy up quickly enough. Don't wake up the dog. Don't wake up that baby. You want to waste it? You don't have enough permanents to be able to target. You can go after that if you want to. There you go. Feel good about that. All right, the price has been paid. Let's go in. Down to 9. I'm still showing lethal right now. He's got to do something this turn. That was bad. He did a lot of things this turn that were extraordinarily bad for us. Let's get this party started. Going out with 2. I don't really want any of these guys. Let's just pull a Valgavoth. I guess, do I have to pull them? That's the question, right? Ooh, I got them all. All right, playing against ThroatGOAT. So technically 2. Let's turn off the Mole Man. He's playing life game probably. No, stay in the graveyard, my friend. Stay in there. All right, we need 4th mana. We can bring him back. Question is, this guy know it and go? We'll go after my guy because of it. I've never even seen this guy before. The Grand Abolisher. I wonder why he's playing that. He just doesn't like people playing instants on his turn. There's the 4th mana. Let's just go for it. Let's drop it like a bomb. What is his ward? Pays 7 life. He's got plenty right now. I'd pay it if I was him. What do I have here? Nothing? Something, something, nothing? Nope, nothing else. All right, we got to get some more guys in the graveyards. What we got to do. As you sit there staring down the 7 deaths, thinking, I got 20 life. I got plenty to spare. Quit blinking at me. That's called first strike, man. I'm surprised he didn't just give up right there. All right, what now, brown cow? Board wipe? Here comes Liliana, the silent assassin. She's silent and deadly. All right, he's down to 6. I'm up to 39. Ooh, interesting. Can I plow through this guy? No attacks. I mean, theoretically, I could probably just kill him by doing nothing. Hey man, as long as you're tapped, I'm cool with that. And we win! Triple trouble. Victory! Alright, we are playing against StonedNazgul. Well, we gotta get some way to get the Sire into the graveyard, then we can zombify him. So he can be a zombie Eldrazi. Alright, we have the ability to cut something down. Unfortunately, it's not the mole dude there. Despite all of his underground digging, his little outfit looks really nice still. Alright, we got nothing in our graveyard, so all the zombification is not going to help us out at all. Are we going to pay for the Sire of the Seven Deaths in the hard way? Jeez, people. Come on, Shuffler. This guy's got counterspells in his hand. That's a serious problem for us. My only hope is that, well, we try to play the Sire, he just counters it, and we zombify to bring it back again and again. There's 6. We're going to be paying for the Sire straight up. All right, he's just putting a guy out. That's disappointing. All right, well, we can slap Valgavoth Faithful to get out the Sire, and you can't counter that. He's just going to do that instead. How does he have all of his mana still? How is that a thing? And that's it. That's where our mana goes. Why didn't he just attack with everybody? Thank you. All right, there we go. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. We're playing against Field Agent 2557. All right, I will try. I mean, we don't have anything we need, but we got a lot of good things to do at the beginning of the game. I'm kind of a sucker for the aggro moves. All right, Bitter Triumph will help us get Valgavoth in the graveyard. And we've got to get some reanimation. An instant. Okay, we're good to go. Get a guy out. There we are. Let's wait. Because if I do it now, let's just wait. I see that my timing's off because of it. You can see he'd still be able to attack with this. That's the reason why I didn't do it. All right, I'll pass that one around. Discard a card. Okay, come on, Reanimator. There we go, that was perfect. Welcome to the battlefield, Valgavoth. What does he need? Sacrifice 3 non-land permanents? He has none of the above. All right, that's 9 life for me. We'll say no. All right, we got 2 other big boys, and that's enough for him. Game's over. Boom, boom goes the room. Victory! All right, we're playing against Vladi. Vladi. Come here, Vladi. 1, 2. No, there is 0 black in here whatsoever. Mulligan. We'll keep this one. And let's just put that one to the side. We're fine. All right, so I got ways of getting Valgavoth in the graveyard. I just don't have any ways of getting him out of the graveyard at this moment. Let's start the clock. What a jerk. I tell you how much I play playing against blue counter spells exactly. Okay, let's go for a nice ritual chamber. He's got to run out of those things is the problem. We're grinding him out. I didn't have any. He had nothing instant in his hand. And let's start the clock. Another Liliana would be really good. Now, where are my reanimation cards? That's what I'm really looking for at this point. I got stuff in the graveyard. We're packed and ready to go. What does he need? We need 2, and then 2 more is 4. And let's force the discard. All right, give it up, yo. You need to unlock that. That's cool. We got time. Hopefully it won't just bounce it. That would be bad. You should have seen that coming. All right, we got Zombify. That's Nick's turn. Now you can suck on my card draw. All right, you've got 4 mana. I got the 5th one there. He's trying to wipe the board. That's 6, man. That's hard to get rid of. Oh, 7, you got it. I'll keep that guy. And we're good. Victory! All right, we are playing Demon Reanimator, and it was cool. You know, we just played Rakdos Reanimator, and you know, it kind of had the same vibe, especially since you're digging for Valgavoth. I think we might have even had the Overlord in it as well. This one being mono black, it was nice because you didn't have to worry about your mana values at all. Also, we got to play with the Sire of the 7 Deaths. The big thing is, it turns out I don't particularly care for him. He's too easy to kill, and people are just seem to be perfectly willing to give up on 7 life. So, yeah, you know, we have 0 protection for it whatsoever. I might want to go for something that has a little bit more, I don't know, fun in it. Something that causes, like, one thing that's cool here is you have to sacrifice 3 non-land permanents. That is a lot of value that I give up. You know, 7 life out of potentially 20, they don't care. They don't care at all. I suppose if this guy came out later in the game, that would be fine. You know, if they're down to where they only have like 10 life or something, that would be a vicious, vicious thing to deal with. But, yeah, I mean, he's got all these great things going on. He's completely colorless. It was cool to play with him. I just wasn't struck. Whenever he came out, he was way too fragile. That was my problem. All right, we had Zombify once again. The cool new thing was Abyssal Harvester, because we were able to use the combo where we just had to get something to die, and then we can exile target creature from a graveyard that was put there this turn. You could pick your opponent's stuff too. It was just you had to time it right was the problem. This guy was the interesting guy. So the combo was Abyssal Harvester, Liliana, and one of your big guys, because you could force yourself to get rid of one of the guys, which would then cause the Abyssal Harvester to be able to pull them straight out. And yeah, you could do that. And you could keep repeating with this guy, which was pretty freaking cool. We also had the Valgavoth Faithful for Fingerprint Axe. So we had a lot of, you know, what am I calling it? Reanimation in this deck. And it was cool. We had a lot of demons in this deck. So they're calling it Demon Reanimator. Absolutely. This thing where the label meets it 100%. It was a good deck. It had great numbers. So let's go ahead and get into it. Who was the MVP? Who was the most valuable player? I think I called Zombify the guy. The question is, was it Abyssal Harvester? I mean, in this deck, I'd say either. So because Zombify took it last time, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Abyssal Harvester. The thing is, though, he wasn't as easy to play with as Zombify. You know, you had 4 mana, you had discard, you could just bring anybody back. This guy required you to put him in this turn, but you did have the ability to steal other people's stuff. Like, the good thing is if you had the Harvester out and you had like a Bitter Triumph or a Go for the Throat, you can kill something huge on their side and immediately just return it back to your side. I'm going to give it to Abyssal Harvester. He had a lot of good tricks in him. He had a lot of value, and he was relatively cheap, which means you could be reanimating at turn 3. It just, not really. You'd have to have, because to be able to do it, it's really turn 4, because you have to have the Harvester out and then something on the next turn. At that same point, you could just play Zombify and get things back. So Harvester is good just because he was repeating. He keep doing over and over good. You could wait along for something to happen. He was a creature. There's a lot of value there. So I'm going to go ahead and give it to Abyssal Harvester. Congratulations. You're going to be a wonderful sight at Disneyland. All right, let's move on. Was this deck competitive? When I played it in the ladder, I got a 50% win rate. That was fine. When I played it casually, let me flip back over to my casual view here. 73%. So yeah, this deck was a competitive deck. It was fantastic. It did great a lot. And sure, we lost occasionally, but we won way more than we lost. The big thing is usually you'd get out Valgavoth and people would immediately just give up. A lot of times people would get up when they started seeing the combos coming. They're just like, I can see where this is sliding to. They knew what was going to happen, and they knew they didn't have the ability to go up against it at all. What I loved is when mono red would sit there and think that they're getting someplace, and then you'd get out Valgavoth, maybe a demon, and they knew that they were just tiny little rabbits scratching at a wall. So yeah, that was super fun when that happened. So competitive, yeah, this deck was a competitive deck. Was this a fun deck? Ooh, that was rough. I mean, because you can see by looking at the curve here, this is not a aggro deck. This is a mid-range deck. It grows, right? It wasn't even very much. We did have a lot of good control. What was nice is Bitter Triumph was the kind of thing you needed to do to get some of your big guys out of your hand into your graveyard. We did have a bunch of graveyard reanimation that usually spun up at 4. Abyssal Harvester only required to be out at 3, except for you had to wait till your next turn because you needed more mana to be able to start reanimating stuff. But between those things, you had a really good shot at returning big things back by a mid-game, no problem. So then you were just trouncing people at mid-game with the stuff you had going on. So I thought it was a fun deck. Yeah, it was a good thing just because it was so expensive. But the expensive, like this guy comes out for 2, you just wait. So all of this stuff, that's 3 right there. These guys are both super expensive, but you never paid full price for them. So the most expensive thing you really had was 4 mana. I mean, that was it. Sometimes you paid 5 to get out the Ritual Chamber Demon. That's it. This was not an expensive deck. It was practically aggro. Just you weren't fighting with little dudes at the beginning. You have Volver's Fate Trip, going out for 1. But yeah, you didn't have any turn 3 super shenanigans going on, so it's hard to call it aggro. But I thought that it was fast enough and light enough on the mana that it was definitely fun to play. All right, lastly, was this interesting? We're playing in that whole reanimation line recently. It was cool to see Zombify being played. Valgavoth, I'm starting to get a little tired of him. But there's lots of great things you could put in here instead. We can start pulling back some of our giant artifact creatures, lots of giant green dudes or whatever. It was nice in this case because last time we played this deck, we had a lot of guys that we couldn't even play with mana. We had to bring them back from reanimation. This time, I actually pulled out 7 mana and played Sire of the Seven Deaths naturally. That was insane for me. Anyways, it was cool. I thought it was interesting. I played it. There was something in it that I thought was cool. And that was because it was a mono black version. Demon heavy, focused a lot on reanimation. And it lived up to its reputation there. All right, so let's add this up. Was this deck competitive? Yes. Was it fun? Yes. Was it interesting? Totes my goats. All right, so that makes this into an AA plus deck. And as I'm required by federal law to say, this deck was so choice. I would highly recommend you pick one up, should you have the means. That is all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, shine on, you crazy diamonds. Later.